so if you look here, Ted, you see that we haven't done any pickup of any of the leaves here, but I've blown them into the edges so that we don't have to deal with, you know, messes and things like that. And so people who have grass, they can do the same thing. Blow the leaves in the fall off of your grass, and even in the spring come back and probably do it again. But there's a lot of larvae and eggs from butterflies and from moths in this material. And during the winter, all of your ground feeding birds like sparrows and things will come in here and they'll eat. They'll just continue to go through the leaves and actually shred them. And sometimes I don't even have to bother with them because they've shredded them up into compost. But around, you want to wait till the temperature is consistently 50 degrees or above during the day. So you can see here that my wild violets are coming up, and those are the first in bloom plants that you're going to see. And if you can tolerate some wild violets in your yard, they do spread, but they also keep the weeds down. So you have to think about, do you want to weed, or do you want to put up with that, or do you want to have this perfect yard? So many people like to have a perfect yard, and I get it, but what happens here is that is taking care of the early emerging bees and pollinators, and they have that first shot of sugar that they need for to sustain themselves as they get going in the spring. But you can see the birds are just all over the yard right now. It's also cool on this river birch. You'll see birds will be sitting and they'll be drinking the nectar off of the tree. So that if there's one right up there that he's just taking a little sip out of the tree, and the tree will be dripping from the nectar that's going up. The xylem is starting to flow from the roots up into the top of the tree, and you can see there's the seedlings are all up there. Not the word for it, but anyway, they're all up through the tree, but that xylem is flowing, and as it flows, if there's any little cut on the tree, it'll be dripping, and the birds will take advantage of it because it's sweet. So
the other thing, as we stand out here, Ann, just the number of birds you have in this yard. Yeah. I mean, it really, you just hear them.
Well, the thing about it is we have water, and so we have lots of, I have one bird feeder, but I don't kill myself. My niece is like bird feeder heaven, you know, all over the place. But there's enough food in this yard still for the birds to come and eat. So this is a hybrid holly that's in the yard. You'll notice there's still a lot of berries still on it.
A lot of them.
Yeah, and so that tells me that that tree takes a long time to sugar up for those berries to get sweet. And I do know by the end of April those berries will be gone, but the cold is what helps the tree get more sugar, and that's what. So versus this is a American holly right next to it, totally wiped off. There's not a berry on it, so that's much more appealing to the birds. So you've got different trees that are coming to fruition at the different times, which helps the birds be able to feed through it, because a lot of the, like bluebirds, like we talked about at our Saturday talk, they're insect eaters, and there's not a lot of insects going on right now. So they need still berries, and they need to, and then the other thing that's right over there next to our compost bin is a bayberry, and that's also got small seeds on it, and the birds will eat that. So those are two really great evergreen natives to have in your yard. That one is, I never prune it because I just want to have that, but you could prune that down and it could be 4 or 5 feet tall without any problem at all.
And these are things that will attract birds.
Will attract birds because they can hide in there and they can feed on that. And then the rest of the yard, I've got a lot of bulbs that are coming up. I don't mess with tulips because they sometimes do well, but most of the time they will, in this warm weather, in this area, they rot out. So I used to have tulips, and then they've died, and the squirrels dig them up, and I've just given up on it. They're real pretty in a bed around the city. I appreciate that, but I also want to urge people not to put them under trees because you damage the tree roots when you do that.